Good evening and welcome to the Doctor and Athlete podcast, brought to you by the Global Light Group from LifeWave. I'm Dr. Jon Harmon, and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes as we explore this little global phenomenon called the X39 patch. It's a phototherapy patch. Can you see the batteries? Oh, actually, people ask that. How could it be a phototherapy patch when it doesn't have something you plug in or it doesn't have batteries? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. It is a phototherapy patch. It is a global sensation. It received the Global Stem Cell Biohack Award last year for 2025. So stick around. You're going to find out a lot of information how to repair and regenerate. Before we get started, I want to just mention that although I am a doctor, I'm not your doctor, and nothing I say tonight should be interpreted as advice for treating or curing any disease or disorder. It's not what we're about. We're about helping your body take care of business on its own. And we might mention people's experiences tonight, and those are their experiences. Your results may be different, but we're excited to share with you a very special guest tonight who will tell about her athletic benefits and through using of the use of this X39. I also would like to say right up front, I hope to be able to check these three boxes for you before we're finished tonight. Number one, first of all, does this patch work? Ask yourself that. Does the patch work? And I hope to give you enough information and back up what I'm saying to bring you to the point where you can check that box. The next box would be, will this patch work for me? Well, you probably have genes and you probably fog up the mirror when you put it up to your mouth. If you're a human being, this patch will work for you, but I want you to see that for yourself. And the last one would be, could I share this with other people? After all, someone invited you to this podcast because they thought a lot about you. They were concerned about maybe your health, maybe your wealth, and maybe your freedom. I think the person who brought me to one of these almost 6 years ago, because of how it has changed my life in all of those ways I just mentioned, not the least of which, or the most important, was my heart health. Someday we'll talk about that. Huge shifts in my own health and my heart. So as we go through this, your mind is probably going to wander a little bit to people in your circle, people in your life. Maybe they have something so complex that no doctor has been able to figure out because, I mean, there are thousands of different unnamed viruses. There are thousands of different disorders that have such a complex mix of symptoms and the way it's affecting this organ or that organ that no doctor's been able to figure out. They've been taking drugs, they've been taking supplements. They may even be one of the people who have supplement fatigue. They've taken so many that nothing has helped. But what if you could, from the foundation, signal your body with light to remind it of what it is supposed to be doing or what it did when we were younger? That's what this is all about tonight, is about this phototherapy patch that can help restore and regenerate your body from the inside out and from the outside in. But first, we have a special guest tonight. We've actually had her on before, Dr. Southwick, and she talked about how this X39 patch helped her daughter so much from a serious, serious head injury. But tonight, we get to hear her story of repair and regeneration, but also how this has impacted beneficially her workouts, her routine, the things that she likes to do, her body. So, Dr. Cashell Southwick, I want to bring you on. Welcome back again for part two.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dr. John. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I know before when you were on talking about your daughter, Man, that was really powerful for one thing. But you mentioned maybe coming back another time and that planted the seed. I said, we have to have you back and talk about how this has affected your body and your ability to work out, how that's changed, how your body structure has changed, and all of the things you want to share with us tonight.
Well, I'm so excited to tell you a little bit about my story. This technology is just absolutely amazing. And, I'm all about things that are natural and good for us and, really making healthy choices today so that my senior years, when I'm 50,
When you're
60,
my age.
70, yeah, when you get older, that it's enjoyable. I want this body to last me until I'm 100. So, making good choices today, one choice at a time, is what is going to get me to that place. And maybe, people are starting at 60 or 70 or 80 and they're not in that place right now. Maybe they didn't make those healthy choices when they were in their 40s. And that's okay. This technology has an amazing benefit for people who are older. In fact, I actually see some of the best results and some of the fastest results in senior citizens. So, my story is that, I got the patches for my daughter. I had no intention. If you would have asked me, I would have told you I was perfectly healthy. And I often said I was perfectly healthy, but looking back, I realized really how unhealthy I was. So I started wearing the patches kind of on accident. I was going to wear them just for a week to kind of test them out before I put them on my daughter. And it was such a dramatic improvement. I have scoliosis. And so for my whole life, since fourth grade, I have had low back pain. And I'm not a medicine taker. If you know me, you know that I don't take any medications, and I encourage other people not to take medications and to treat the root cause. Band-Aids, prescriptions are like Band-Aids. We have an entire pharmacy of Band-Aids. So with this low back pain, I put the patches on actually my two pain points. So I was on my right side, my curve is to the right. And I think I was a 27-degree turn or percent turn when I started patching. I'm now down to a 19% turn or curve. And I put them on my right lower back, X39 and Eon. And I wore them for a week. That was originally how long I was going to wear them for. And by the end of the week, I told my husband, I said, I think I'm going to keep wearing these stickers. And he's kind of teased me. And I said, well, my back pain is like gone. And now, fast forward, it's almost been 3 years. Now, that back then, the back pain wasn't gone. It was just dramatically improved. Now, 3 years, I have no back pain. Like I have just things that I couldn't do, you know, 3 years ago or even 10 years ago because I would have such bad back pain. Now I'm doing again. I'm riding my horses. I can lift an 80-pound bag of horse feed off the ground of my tack room and dump it into the feed bin. I mean, it's just been, uh, the patches have really given me my life back. And athletically too. In fact, I did put together a picture, oops, a before and after picture. If you'd like, I'm happy to share my
Oh,
screen.
yes, please do.
I'm
While
not
you're
sure.
finding that, I have to tell you, somebody your
Yeah.
age who had a 27-degree scoliosis, my background is in chiropractic. I would say that you're probably going to have quite a bit of back pain the rest of your life.
Yeah. I can tell you, I used to go to the chiropractor um, at least every week, maybe more.
Yeah.
This picture of my husband and I on the left there with the truck, that was actually taken. I've been patching for about 3 weeks there. And I wish it was kind of to the back there, but this is a picture actually on the at Punta Cana last year from this is one of our other brand partners, but it was one of the first pictures I saw that you could really see like the difference in my waist. Unfortunately, I put the one picture in the front so you can't see the arms difference, but really just dramatic turnaround. So so when you feel better, you do better, right? You make better health choices. I was taking a thyroid medication, actually the highest dose that I think I've ever dispensed as a pharmacist, and every single day I was tired. Every single day I was wearing a TENS machine. I was actually going to the very same workout class that I still go to. When that before picture was taken, I used to go to the gym, two, maybe three times a week. I did the classes. I did all the healthy things. I was eating right. Um, and then really just adding the patches is what made such a difference for me. So we have a couple of patches that if you really want to start making healthy choices, not just for pain relief, but really for getting your body to work the way that God designed it, is what I would recommend is the X39, of course, the Eon patch, that lowers inflammation, the X49, and then the SP6. And so those four were kind of my um, real go-tos with my own transformation. So I wore X39 and Eon on my back, and I wore SP6 on my left ankle on spleen point 6, hence the name of the patch. And then I wore X49 underneath the belly button. So X49, remember, we did some clinical trials on that, and it was proven to increase strength and stamina and body composition. So improvement in lean muscle mass and a decrease in body fat. And women showed better results with it underneath their belly button. Men, it didn't matter. They could wear it under their belly button or on the back of their neck.
Yeah, because we men are like, whatever, just put it on.
And no men, I've never met one at least that likes to put it under their belly button. So back of the neck is just fine for guys. But wearing those four patches, I not only have decreased my body fat, but I've lost over 38 pounds. I no longer need my thyroid medication. I don't take any thyroid medication at all anymore. I have no thyroid antibodies. So I had Hashimoto's before, don't have Hashimoto's anymore.
Wow.
It's just been an incredible transformation. And the improvement in the back pain, of course, is just absolutely life-changing.
Yes, and when I had a conversation with someone today about pain, and most people think, oh, I hurt, I can't do the things I want. But here's the real kicker. If you have pain that wakes you up at night, that predisposes you for dementia and Alzheimer's because your
Yeah.
brain can't go through the cycle to detox. So if you are in pain and it is waking you up at night, if somebody on this call or in the future, you need to really get this patch on you because of the decrease in pain and the increase in function. Thank you so much for sharing your story again. You've always
Yes.
been so gracious to call or do a conference call, and I appreciate that in you. And you definitely have changed a lot since I first met you, way back in Dallas, or no, it was in Florida before. Yeah.
Yeah. The convention in Florida.
Well, carry on with the beautiful life that you have and all of the great things that have resulted in using these patches. Thanks so
Yes.
much for coming on, Cashell.
Yes. Thank you.
Excuse me, Dr. Southwick.
Yeah.
So what is this thing we're talking about tonight? This little patch. You'll have to get back to the people who invited you here to talk about some of those other patches. Just for time, I'm going to focus my time on the X39. So I want to do a little screen share with everybody. When we talk about science and research, and there's a scientist who developed and invented this technology as commissioned by the Navy prior to 2004. He has over 200 global patents. He has over 10 years of stem cell research. And here's kind of like this sentence right here kind of sums up what we're talking about. We discovered a way to use light, not chemicals, to signal your body's own cellular production. It's like flipping your body's own repair switch safely, effortlessly, and from within. And we say, why all the research? Well, we like research because there's proof. And we don't just, it's not conjecture, it's not somebody's opinion, it's based on a lot of science. And so we start to see differences in aches and stiffness, like Dr. Southwick said. Poor sleep, slow recovery, energy and focus, fine lines, thinning hair, inflammation. We start to see changes. So we're not talking just about slowing down the aging process. We're talking about your body being able to repair itself and start turning back the clock, more like reverse aging. So here's the patch. I showed it to you when we started. This circle, this inner circle right here contains, there's a sealed sleeve, a polyester sleeve that contains a special crystal structure that does not exist in nature. And much like when you go into a jewelry store and you walk up to the diamond cabinet, there's bright lights shining on them, but you see all these colors from clear diamonds. Well, the light, the white light, contains all of the wavelengths of light, different colors. Well, the crystal lattice structure of that crystal in the patch, basically, for lack of a better way to say it, it selects out specific frequencies that go back into you. You just made the energy, and the patch recycles some of it, but it acts like UV light acts like on the skin. When we go out in the sun, somehow we magically get the signal to make vitamin D. Think of it changing the channel on that same system. And so instead of getting vitamin D, you get what's known as the GHK copper peptide. We'll give a little more detail about that. First, I want to show you this 3-minute video. When I said this is so easy to share, and you asking yourself, could I share this also? What we do is we copy and paste and send this video. So I want you to watch this 3-minute video.
Light, the energy of life itself. Since the beginning of time, light has sustained us, fueled our growth, and shaped the world. Even Einstein recognized that everything we are is made of light. But what if we could harness the light within us? Not just to live, but to renew, restore, and rejuvenate. As time goes on, we begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Energy fades, sleep declines, and healing takes longer. The reason? Our stem cells, the building blocks of renewal, become less effective over time. Since 2004, LifeWave has been delivering groundbreaking technology to help the body do what it was designed to do, only better. Introducing LifeWave X39, the first product in the world that activates stem cells using our body's own light. Backed by clinical research, multiple patents, and over 10 years of stem cell research, LifeWave's founder, David Schmidt, achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others, despite years of research and billions in funding, could not. The result? A revolutionary wearable light technology that unlocks the power of activating our own stem cells with a single, safe, affordable, non-transdermal patch that puts you back in control of how you look, feel, and perform. Here's how it works. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light. When an X39 patch is applied to any point on the body, our infrared light is reflected back into the tissue, sending a signal to the brain, activating a powerful peptide, GHK copper peptide, known to activate our stem cells. These younger, more effective stem cells then go to work, enhancing energy, relieving pain, improving sleep, accelerating recovery, and promoting healthier hair and skin. Unlike drugs or chemicals, X39 works naturally, awakening your body's ability to heal and thrive. Whether you want to boost energy for your busy life, recover faster, or simply feel your best, X39 supports your body's natural renewal process, helping you live long, live well, and live young. No matter your age or stage in life, your body is capable of more than you realize. It's time to unlock your full potential, restore your vitality, and embrace a healthier, more vibrant you. Be the light with LifeWave X39.
One of the lines I really loved in that video was it helps your body do what it used to do even better. And I have found that myself. So you look at it, what are you talking about? Light. There's no battery and there's no plug. I mentioned when we started, well, it's light, but it's light you just made, and then it gets reflected back into your body. And what it does, it elevates, if you can see my arrow right here, it elevates a copper peptide. That's what the CU stands for, copper. GHK copper peptide. So what is that? Well, I was in chiropractic college back in the 80s, graduated at the end of the 80s, and I had never heard that term because the research didn't start until 1977. So the research has gone on about this peptide and how beneficial it is and how many things it does in our body for 27 years prior to the existence of the company LifeWave that makes the patch. And that's all available on PubMed for those of you who like to dig deeper, like me. GHK copper peptide, your body's own super peptide. What does it do? Let's learn a little bit more right here about GHK copper peptide. This guy, Dr. Lauren Picard, David Schmidt says he thinks he should have gotten the Nobel Prize for medicine, but he started in 1973. You know what they did? They put old liver cells in a petri dish and then put the GHK copper peptide in there. Those old liver cells actually reversed in their age and started making proteins and enzymes like young liver cells. So they thought, there must be something to that. So what does it do? One of the most important things I'm going to tell you tonight is the following sentence. It is shown in the literature that the GHK copper peptide turns on the genes that signal your body to make more of your own of those regenerative things called stem cells. So it not only does that, but it acts like a homing beacon to areas where stem cells need to go to repair and regenerate. It actually attracts them to the site where they need to fix things. So sometimes when we start using the X39, we don't realize it because we didn't have a symptom for something, and my stem cells got attracted to something that was more life-threatening rather than my toe pain or my hangnail pain. So we have things that are much more important than sometimes the things that we can feel. And so I tell people, don't judge what's happening. It's happening, and stem cells are like teenagers. You can't tell them what to do. They're going to go where they're needed the most. So adult stem cells started producing again. More stem cells, and GHK, you get more stem cells, and it resets the existing stem cells to the healthier state. So when I started using this, I was 66, and my stem cells were mostly probably dormant. We get huge changes in hair. Not only does it help regrow hair, but it also, regrow follicles, but it makes the follicles actually bigger. So the hair shaft gets thicker. People will say, man, my hair's getting so thick. And they had a lot of hair, but then it gets thicker because each strand is thicker. So it tightens loose skin, reduces fine lines, spots and lesions. It rapidly increases wound healing. It's known as the emergency response peptide in the literature because of the need for rapid repair and stem cells where there's an injury, whether it's a bone, fractured bone, a laceration, or other types of injuries and contusions. Bruising goes away really quickly with GHK. Resets. Now we're talking about fast-growing cells. No claims are made about fast-growing cells. Here's what the literature says. LifeWave does not make a claim about fast-growing cells. But in the literature, what it says is it helps reset the cellular death cycle of some of those fast-growing cell types. And it also resets turns off 25 genes we can be born with that would actually predispose us to getting fast-growing cells. And GHK helps repair the damage that we get in our genes through oxidation and mutations, helps repair those so that those cells don't divide with a mutation in them, because they can become cancerous as well. Lung protection, huge, huge, huge benefits in the literature, not a claim made by LifeWave, for COPD. It topped the list of bioactive compounds, of 1,309 bioactive compounds for helping with chronic pulmonary issues. And you can go back to the site and read these. Huge antioxidant, and that's what affects, Dr. Southwick was talking about workouts. It causes a lot of oxidative stress when we work out. Those things make our muscles sore, that and lactic acid. And it helps reduce that, rapidly reduces it. So here I am at almost 72, and it's like I don't get sore. I can just I work out like I used to, and I used to get really sore muscles, but not so much anymore. It's because of GHK. So here's one of the huge things. In fact, I did write a book about this, and there's so much information about the brain and how the GHK benefits the brain that it had to be divided up into 3 chapters. Lots of other benefits. Go to this site. It's called whythelight.com. You can read all of the benefits that you'll get from using the X39 because it activates production of your GHK copper peptide. Okay, what are other people saying about this? Let's hear from a couple of people.
I was saving for my 20th stem cell treatment, and Barbara showed up, and she put 2 patches on me, and by the time we finished talking, I was able to lift my legs much easier. It was amazing. And so I canceled my appointment, and I've been wearing the patches every day since.
I say it all the time. The way she says Barbara, Barbara is a big person in her life. I always say to people, be somebody's Barbara. Show them. Okay, so let's listen to another one.
Never expected to get this diagnosis, to be stage 4 at 37 years old, and then be able to have a clear scan. So, I'll forever be using these.
And there are more. Go to this site, whythelight.com, and you can look at some of those and watch some of those other very short videos. So what do? Clean skin, put it on the back of your neck or 3 finger widths below the belly button. Those are the recommended spots. You can put them anywhere on the body. In fact, you don't even have to wear them on the skin. For those of you who have sensitive skin like I do, you don't have to put them on your skin. You can put them on your clothing. Talk to the person who invited you to this. So how do you get these? There are different ways to get them. We have a money-back guarantee. You can see right here. Here's what to expect. I won't read them all for time's sake, but I encourage you to go to Why the Light. But it helps reset our genes to a healthier state. We get brain balancing. We get collagen repair. We get skin changes, and we just look better, like we feel better. Now, just a few words from David Schmidt before we tell you how to get these.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There is more information there than most people would ever realize. I was 8 years old, and my parents wanted to take me to the workshop of Thomas Edison. On the drive back home, I said to my dad, I want to be an inventor. Light, as it turns out, is the primary control mechanism for everything else that happens in the body. What if we could have an external electromagnetic field that would essentially reset the stem cells that are already in our bodies and get them to function like younger, healthier cells? What if in the process, we actually found out that in a book that was written thousands of years ago, that information already existed? God has left his fingerprint in natural design, and that blueprint shows up in nature. The mathematical codes are identical. The implications to this are absolutely extraordinary. What drives me is that there's this enormous sense of hope that we can create technology to generate clean energy, that we can have foods that aren't genetically modified, and we can meet all of the needs on the planet that we have to, and that we can heal people.
All right, how do you get these? Well, you can purchase the product at wholesale, whether you become a customer or whether you become what's called a branding partner. Branding partners get their own website, and you can also start sharing these with other people. Remember when I asked you to think about that? Could I share these? Well, if you can cut and paste the website, you can share. If you simply have no interest in that, become a preferred customer for the X39 instead of paying the $149.95 retail cost for a one-time purchase. If you go on a subscription basis, you can also get the product at $99.95 a month. Turns out to be a little more than $3 a day to activate your regenerative cells. If you, on the other hand, like what you see and think that you could share with other people, we have these different packs you can get. You can start out, and by the way, the lowest cost you will get on these patches is in these enrollment kits, unless you're purchasing like 20 at a time. This is the lowest cost. So for less than wholesale, you can get a core pack, which includes either a 3-month supply of X39 or you can customize it. That would be enough for one person for a month or two. If you have 2 people you need to purchase for it, you would want to go with the advanced. If you have a family you're going to purchase for, you want to go here. Over here, this would be for people who own clinics or stores, salons where they want to have some on hand, or for fast builders who decide to take this really serious and build this as a business. However you do that, get back with the person who invited you, and they can give you all of the information you need and how to get started in your patching journey. We invite you to join us. I hope I checked those boxes for you. Remember, does this product work? Will it work for you? And could you share it? And what you would do is reach out to those people in your circle who need help with their health, their wealth, or their time freedom. Maybe they're working 3 or 4 jobs and they need something that's a little bit more fun and a little bit more that will work out a little bit better for them. This is every Wednesday night, the Doctor and Athlete podcast. We welcome you back next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.